Fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, and Yozori.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video, Fishing Forecast for New England. Well, I'm down here in the basement going through some gear. I just got in from a quick little blackfish outing this morning as the season closes up on April 30th, but I'll get more to that in a minute. First up, from trout to tog, this week saw some excellent catches being made all across New England. Everybody was out in force, not just fishing, but doing some legit catching, obviously due in no small part to the much improved weather we've been seeing. There's places in New England hitting mid-60s to even low 70s here and there, which is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous late April weather. Cannot complain. So I'm going to start off with the salt, where blackfish season closes April 30 in Connecticut. And that's pushed the usual last-minute shot at anglers trying to get their spring tog in, as I did this morning, fueled by warming inshore water temperatures. First up on the catch list, I was prepping some of my notes midweek, looking for some photos to put up on here, and I came across a post at Bobby J's Facebook page as Ryan Antonina weighed in a 10.41-pound blackfish at the shop in Milford, Connecticut. What's even better, he kept the fish alive, brought it in, weighed it, and returned it to the ocean. So congrats on the awesome catch, the first double-digit tog that I've heard of in New England this season, and an even bigger congrats and a thank you for releasing that big fish. And then, as I noted, I snuck out for a little fishing this morning, headed out of Brantford, hit a few rock piles, got word that yesterday, the day before I went out, I should say, there were some fish being caught. No great numbers, really. Some decent fish to about 20 inches. But you know what? With the season closing soon, there is no time to waste. So I joined up with a couple of my friends. We went out, again, out of Brantford, headed over to New Haven. We found 51-degree surface temps, roughly, right at about 6:30 in the morning. About good halfway through the outgoing tide, and it was lock and load for the entire duration of the tide, right into slack. Pushing 30 keepers on the boat. Obviously didn't retain anything over our 2 fish per person limit, but it was a lot of really good catching. A big fish of the day goes to Black Jack Martin. He took an 8-pounder. That was literally the first drop. We rolled up, set anchor. He dropped his crab down, and it wasn't 30 seconds, and Jack was on that really nice fish. From there, it was a good mix of fish that were just a hair over keeper size to, maybe 5 pounds or so. Probably the average size was in that range. What's even better, aside from the catching, we saw no one else out there, shockingly, with this beautiful weather. Don't know why anyone was on it, but I'm sure this weekend is going to be crazy as far as the number of boats getting in on it, because of those water temps they're warning. And speaking of those warmer water temps, as an example, I checked the surface temperatures of the water in New Haven Harbor, and I've been keeping an eye on it. A lot of the spring fishing starts off in that area, and they've been hitting that 52 to 54, almost 55-degree range on that mid-incoming afternoon tides for more than a week now, and it finally got those fish chewing. There's been some good catches of striped bass to about 30 inches being made in the area. And what everybody's starting to already talk about, we should start to see those first weakfish show up. And my bets are by that new moon on April 4th, barring any wacky cold snaps between now and then. I think we will see some better, or consistent, I should say, catches of weakfish by then. Don't hold me to it, but that's what I'm going with right now. All right, let's see. Continuing along on the striped bass side of things, while most of those local fish are still small holdovers with the occasional, 20-pounder or so being caught in those tidal rivers, a massive striped bass was landed a little bit south of us last week. Got word from Philip Kochia of Bensalem, Pennsylvania. And he was fishing the Jersey side of the Delaware River last week. Said it was about an hour before the top of the tide. He was fishing a bloodworm, on the bottom on a 7/0 circle hook, and he hooked up with this monster striped bass that he caught, photoed, and released so it could continue on upriver to complete her spawning work. This was an awesome story. He was out there fishing with his kids. They cheered on the catch. They cheered on the release. Way to go, Philip. Thank you very much for the release, for instilling these values in your kids. And of course, congrats on the mega striper, the first truly massive striped bass I've heard of so far this year. All right, switching gears over to freshwater side of things. Got a bunch of pictures coming through this week. First up, Jim Brooks from Belchertown, Mass. Through our Facebook page, another way you can get in touch with us. He sent me a picture of a fat landlocked salmon that he landed last week while fishing aboard Hyper Striper Sport Fishing based out of Ludlow, Massachusetts. Now, we didn't say exactly where he made the great catch, but hey, anytime you can get a salmon up in this area, there's nothing wrong with that. State of Massachusetts. Heard from Anthony Penny of South Yarmouth. He sent me an email with a couple of pictures. First up was a pair of 5-pound largemouth that he landed while fishing up in Orleans, up on the Cape. He said that those two bass were part of roughly a 20-fish catch that he got into in about a 2-hour span recently. That's a really good outing. And then, let's see, last but not least, got an email from Dave Sauer. He sent me a picture of a 23.5-inch rainbow trout that he caught this week while fishing on the Salmon River in Connecticut. That is a really big rainbow trout. Congratulations. Honestly, I think I'll probably eat most of the trout that I've caught this year, so congrats there. Now remember, if you get into any good catches, you take some photos on your weekly outings, you can email them over to me at lapinski@thefisherman.com. Maybe I'll feature you in an upcoming video report. That's also how we get the photos that go on the weekly covers, as well as peppered through the fishing report section. As always, got to remind you though, send me the original high-resolution digital image. Don't mess with it. Don't compress it. Just send me the original. I'll play with it from there. And last up here, be sure to keep up on top of the latest videos posted by us here at the Fisherman Magazine. And your best way to do that is to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now, if you haven't done so already. Now, obviously, you're checking out my weekly fishing forecast here right now, but we also do weekly videos for Long Island, as well as New Jersey, Delaware Bay. We also have a steady flow of how-to, where-to type videos, all the same kind of stuff that you're going to see in the print magazine with your paid subscription. We supplement it and add to it right here on YouTube videos, and the fastest way to get notified when we post something new by clicking the subscribe button so you get first notice when a new video is loaded, so do not delay.
Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.